In my hand, what looks like a wrench is a piece of garbage. This is a failed tool. This is a tool one might get from a dollar store or some such place. It looks like, hey, this is nice, and look at it, it's got a nice, relatively wide handle and has a good grip, and look at the crisp letters on it, and this is how it looks like. And no, this is a failed tool. This is garbage. In this video, I'm going to explain briefly what happened here. You can see these odd spots on the tool here. That's because somebody tried to weld it. So these are some weldments. The reason for the welding is because this tool is cracked. It broke in half. There you can see that hairline cracked. You can see that hairline cracked there. Follow it around there. So it's totally broken, and probably these two halves here, this part and everything else, got separated, and if it got separated, it's aligned miraculously well. Obviously, wrenches shouldn't break in normal use. There is no sign of somebody hitting this handle with a sledgehammer or anything such. And this looks undeformed and unimpacted. So how did this break? How is this even possible for a tool to have a brittle failure like this? Take a look at this one, about the same size. Yeah, it's a 10-inch crescent wrench. This one is forged, drop forged. You can see that the letters here are raised on this, whereas the letters are the opposite. These are made the opposite way, so the letters are not raised on this, and it's easier to mark a tool with letters that are pressed into the metal than have a forging die made that has these letters in the die, and when the tool is forged, then the lettering is raised like this. Now, anybody, any tool maker can make it either this way or this way. So what's the saying? The proof of the pudding is in the eating. So this tool here is over 30 years old. I don't know if it's got some impact damage on its handle or whatever, but this is very old. And I don't know how long this has been in use, probably twice, and then it's shattered. Also, how the pin is made in the tool, it's looking like this one. It's a non-serviceable pin, and on this one you can see that a screwdriver can be put on it and be removed for servicing. So the difference between forging and not forging is that this one lasts and this one doesn't. So how was this made then? Well, this was made with casting. It's a simple casting, and castings are brittle. So I'm gonna test this theory of mine over here at the bench. I'm gonna mount it in the bench and hit it with a hammer. See if it fractures the same way it broke in the first place. Tools normally should bend and not break. So let's give it a whack. It was holding on the first one, and yeah, not on the second one. So there. This is how brittle failure looks like. So you can't really weld castings successfully, in the sense that yes, you can weld cast irons if they hold oil or some liquid or whatever, but not cast irons don't work or don't last under dynamic loading like this. Under under impact loading. So this one here, you can see this coarse texture to the metal. So this is brittle failure of casting. This is not forged. This is just this was garbage the minute it was made. Now, to be fair, this tool was hit sideways when it broke, but I'm sure it would have broken in the direction it broke in the first time, probably in normal use, which is in this direction. So that's how probably it broke while it was holding there, while it was being used as a wrench in this direction. So either which way, it broke, whether it's loaded transversely or in the direction of normal use. I don't want to repeat the experiment with this wrench here that survived 30 plus years. The point, I think, here has been clearly made. If you buy garbage, this is what happens. Now, just for the fun factor, let's see if I can break this part of the wrench again along its thickest part possibly. Okay, here is one piece. Here's another one. Yes, it's consistently made of the same brittle stuff. Now, wrenches, out of safety reasons, should bend in normal use and not shatter. So let's see what happens with the handle. The handle is pretty sturdy. Let's see if I can overwhelm it somehow. Yeah, the handle is working brilliantly. One other big reason why tools last decades, like these ones here, is not just how they are made. Like all of these have raised letters and they are forged, all of them there, but also what they are made of. Not just steel, they need to be made out of tool steel. Sometimes it's printed on the handle, it says chrome alloy, so chromium and vanadium are typically, or some of them use molybdenum, so chrome moly alloys or chrome vanadium alloys are used for tool steels. And the batch of the alloying elements and the steel need to be blended in properly. So as you saw, that the handle didn't break, it withstood impact loading. If the batch is not made uniformly, the head of the wrench might be shattering like you saw. So that's one other reason. It has to be made out of the proper metals, the proper alloying elements. It has to be tool steel, and besides forging, it has to be uniformly distributed, properly blended in as well. So again, you get what you pay for.